Good morning. It is Thursday, October 9th. We have an interesting weather setup today. Got a lot going on. Northern California, Southern California, particularly the deserts. And then on the East Coast, they're setting up for a nor'easter this weekend for parts of the eastern seaboard. So that's a lot of weather. We've got scattered showers showing up in Marin County right now, up in the Marin County watershed. That's the reason, and you're going to see coming up, why the redwood trees do so well on that west side of the Marin Headlands, right? The Muir Woods in those areas, because the leaves of the redwood tree, right, collect water and can produce rain where there is no rain, or actually significant accumulation. Many gallons of water are produced each year by the fog drip, is what it's called. And you'll see that too. This is the system coming in, the beginning of our change. It started yesterday. Temperatures today stay on the nice mild side. Temperatures tomorrow are going to cool further. And then by Friday, Saturday, maybe a few sprinkles in the north, snow flurries up around Mount Shasta. And then as we go into early next week, looks like legit snow even up around Lake Tahoe. Not horribly low snow elevations, but maybe a foot of snow or so. So we'll see, especially up in the higher elevations of Lake Tahoe. So here we are now. This is a live camera or a visible satellite image. And I want you to see the moisture. So the system is here, the dynamics. A little bit of dynamics here, but look what we're seeing. This is Mount Tam, and this is right now, as of, well, from 7 o'clock this morning through now. But that's, right, that's the top of Tam. We look at that camera. So it's not really, well, it is drizzling, raining, but it's interesting how that west slope. So you go, how come they get so much precipitation there? Well, it's because of the way they face. It's because of the hillside, and the redwood trees add to it. But Marin County, especially in that watershed, this is only in the last 3 hours or so, in the last 3 hours has received this much rainfall, almost a 2/10 of an inch, near Mill Valley, up on the hill at Middle Peak, which is where we just were. The other thing that works with Marin County too is, right, when the winds start to go a little bit south, the moisture gets kind of funneled in here. But still, that is a real hard indicator that, yeah, I mean, it isn't raining, but it's raining right up there. And that's why so often we'll see San Francisco with a half inch of rain for a weather system. And you'll look over the hill or north a little bit, say, what is it, 8 miles as the crow flies. And you'll see, instead of a half inch of rain, you'll see 3 inches of rain, 4 inches of rain, even a half foot of rain sometimes. Here's the main system right here. Here is what's left of Priscilla, which is going to give fits to the folks in the desert southwest. Should just skirt Southern California, you guys. So I don't suspect you're going to see showers in LA. Maybe, the eastern parts of southeast California, you're going to see a few stray showers, but most of this energy is being driven off in this direction with the flow. And then the nor'easter is developing out here. This flow has a lot to do with the nor'easter, which is more towards the weekend. So it's going to rain. Not right away, though. It's going to start off slow for California. This is the National Weather Service puts out this handy-dandy product. This is, how long does this go for? 6-day forecast. So this is actually through next Wednesday. But, I mean, those numbers, I feel like they're pretty heavy-handed, but right, for this time of year. But this would be awesome for fire danger. But over 1.5 inches up in Eureka, perhaps 1 inch in the Marin County watershed, perhaps a ½ inch in San Francisco, and 1 inch in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and then LA and the basin down there, you guys get 1/4 inch to 500. That's through Wednesday. So what this map tells me right away is, okay, we're kind of, and you can feel it outside. I just showed you the pictures from Mount Tam. We are headed for an unsettled period. The moisture content, the moisture available, not copious. We can see a live camera now. This is Lake Tahoe. This is Palisades. Lake Tahoe's going to go just 59 degrees today, right at the lake. Some of the spots will be warmer. Truck, you'll probably make it to 60 degrees, maybe 62 degrees. A few high clouds, and that's an indication. Those are Mare's Tail cirrus clouds, ice crystal clouds. And when you see those coming in, you know this. That's an indication. That's, first of all, it's a wintertime look, right? So that's good. It tells you that these clouds, see how they're lower, further back? The clouds, looks like more like altocumulus back here, and then cirrostratus here. These guys run up. The storm is way out in the Pacific, I showed you. the storm builds up, right? The front pushes air up, up, up. And so out front of the storm, you get condensation at the highest elevations. Well, not out front of the storm, at the storm. And then it blows freely because the jet stream's up higher. So these clouds are moving with the jet stream. I should have just said that. And then these clouds are a little closer to the activity. But these clouds are always going to be up front. So that's why in the old days, my dad would go, oh, cirrus, oh, you know, right, red sky in the morning. That whole thing was tied to a lot to these mare's tail cirrus clouds, which indicate change, which we see coming. This is Mount Diablo, looking towards the north, the delta, if you will. And let's see if we can pull a loop on that. Oops, didn't want to do that, but I did want to do, well, that's what we did. You can see some of the clouds. Now we're looking towards the north and the east, or the southeast, and now towards Livermore Valley. So it's going to be an interesting day. Temperatures today are going to be very similar to what we had yesterday, a little cooler. Lake Tahoe, like I said, today will be in the low 60s, upper 50s. There will be snow on these peaks by Wednesday of next week. So that'll be awesome. We're looking here from Dollar Point, sort of towards the south. This is Pasadena, and we'll see if we had a really cool fog shot. This is Pasadena, and Pasadena today is going to get up to, runs a little warm. Pasadena's going to get up to almost 80 degrees today. And you just see some of the, kind of the fog. I guess that would be fog trying to loft in. Yeah. That's interesting, isn't it, that footprint? I'm not sure what that is, actually. Might be just a flare on the camera lens. And then this is Oak Grove, or Walnut Grove, delta, essentially looking towards the west, essentially towards the west. And you can see, I think that's Mount Vaca there. And you can see temperatures today in the Sacramento Valley are going to get into the mid-70s. These are the forecast highs. And we're going to look at the models coming right up, so absorb these highs. And then I'm going to show the next page tomorrow, will be tomorrow. And then watch what happens to tomorrow's temperatures. Yeah, significant cool down. So Friday, right? So look at this, big difference. So today's Sacramento 76, tomorrow's Sacramento 65. So 10-degree plummet in temperatures. I'll call it a plummet in temperatures tomorrow. So here's how it goes. Here we are. Here's the system in question. You see the big trough, just so we're all clear. When I'm talking about a ridge, I'm talking about that. See that area, those lines? And see how it's ridging? And then this is the trough here. That's a long wave trough. That means it's going to stick around. Or not, doesn't mean that, but it means there's a lot, it's got its full energy. We had cutoff lows like this guy the last few weeks. This is a straight up legit deal. And so if we look at the motion, the forecast motion of this, kind of lingers offshore, gains some moisture, which is what I said before. Remember when they come from the land, they're cooler. This came off the Canadian plate, and it's also dipping out into the Pacific. So it's not just a dry inside slider. It's a potent weather system for this time of year. This is tomorrow afternoon. And so you can see, yeah, the dynamic get closer. And then you see them kind of swing through on Saturday, or Friday afternoon, pardon me. Is that Friday afternoon? Sorry, Saturday afternoon. So it kind of starts coming in Friday afternoon, swings through Saturday, and then kind of does the thing. Look at this, regroups. And see that guy comes right off the plate? That's another one. That's the one that looks like it has the most juice for Tahoe snow and rain for us. So we will see. So really, I wouldn't want to get too granular here. I would just go, okay, this guy isn't supposed to, well, it is, I'm glad it's here. But this is an unusual pattern. This is a wet weather pattern. And the models are suggesting that mean trough, see the trough's hanging out, it just reinvents itself on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and a little bit into Wednesday. So that's next, starting today and really right through the weekend, ramping up on Sunday, Monday, we get into it. So here's a closer up look. Again, don't bite on this full scale. just go, it's a broad brush right now, because again, this is the GFS too. Last one was the GFS. It's not granular, but it gives you a real good idea of trough positioning. And then you decide, where do I live? Do I live in Bolinas? Well, yeah, I'm going to get rain. Do I live in San Jose? Probably not going to see rain until Sunday night, Monday. This is Friday afternoon, okay? You know what those dash line means. You know the wind in the mountains. See these guys close together? So that's windy up around Lake Tahoe. And then not much happens, right? So that takes you through Friday afternoon, or pardon me, through Saturday afternoon. Little stuff in the mountains, but not much. But then comes that next system, that one that kind of retrogrades and goes out over, yeah, and look at that. It has more of a direct hit, and that's Marin County. There's your half-inch of rain right there. Look at that. So this is essentially on Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning. So Tuesday morning commute looks wet. That's a really good looking system, but wait, there's more. Look, it goes into Southern California. And then another wrap. So this period looks pretty unsettled. So now I want to show you, here we are. This is the North American model. This is what was Hurricane Priscilla. I know, covering a lot of ground. And then out here we'll see the nor'easter. I just want to illustrate what's happening. This is the national map. And as we push, you'll see our West Coast weather, right? That's on Friday morning. I'll get all the way to Friday morning. Okay. And then this, so you got our system kind of wraps in Friday morning. Priscilla drags itself into the desert four corners, and this nor'easter out here starts to form. So it's all kind of connected, right? So let's go here. Now this is North American model, different model, a little more granular, and we're looking at everything. So I just want you to see the timing of this. And then now we're into Friday morning. Let's get to Friday afternoon, right? They're expecting down in Phoenix and parts of New Mexico and parts of Utah, they're expecting a foot of rain, maybe more. This is going to be one of those deals where, you know, like it gets out in the Canyon Reef area or Bryce or some of those, you know, the channel lands where you have the flash flooding. This is that type of system that could do it, because remember the origins of our moisture to the north. A little bit it came from the tropics, but a good portion of it's kind of coming in from the higher latitudes. This moisture has been vectored in from a tropical hurricane, And so this moisture still has those characteristics, and it's not supposed to be that far north over that warmer land. So you're going to see explosive activity. And then out here you still have the nor'easter. And so here we go. Our best chance, I'm going to kick us, this is Sunday. And then this is as far as the small goes, but this wraps into, this is the Sunday afternoon, Monday, Tuesday system for us, more moisture. And then this is the Priscilla moisture still lingering down here. And then this is the nor'easter full bore as we go into Monday or Sunday afternoon, which will be interesting if you're watching football, because I'm sure some of those games are home games. So they're preparing, right? The nor'easters are funny, man. They bring in some really cold air, they bring in some really warm air, and they mix, and it's explosive. So you're looking at, winter storm warnings. You're looking at wind advisories, flood watches. Florida has some king tides going on right now. This is the flood watches for the area from Priscilla. Let's see what they got here. Let's see, tropical storm flood. This is going to go through, Thursday through Saturday, right? And they are, I saw forecasts of up to a foot of rain. So that's a lot. And then for us, we're seeing a little bit of wind activity, some wind activity. So forecast highs for today. That's a lot. We did a lot just then. And I'll do a thing, as we get closer, I'll do an update thing as we get closer for the afternoons. I started doing the afternoon, morning. I'm gonna do a couple a day when warranted, but I'm just gonna do them because I just realized I don't want to do this all the time. I mean, I like doing it with you, and I like this, but then I say, I gotta sit down and do another, and that's no fun for either of us if I do that. So I think what I'll do is I'll do my regular stuff, our thing that we do, whatever the hell that is. And then we'll go when we do get into an event, like let's say it is evening and something occurs and the radar lights up. Then I'll do a quick 5-minute piece and you can dig it up if you want. Okay? Because otherwise, I realized I was just like, I was so, it's like now it's on a schedule. Like this isn't a schedule. This is what I do. I drink coffee and I look at maps for whatever I do with that, what you will. But then I was like, then in the afternoon, I was like, the other day I was surfing and I go, I better get back because I'd like to get something out by 3 because I said I get something out by 3. And it's like, yeah, it didn't fit. So we will figure it out together. Okay. These are the forecast highs for today. 91 in Houston, 88 in New Orleans, 68 in Norfolk. All right. See, danger. And then this is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook. Yeah, if I was a civilian, which I am, at a lot of things, but I'm not really. And when it comes to meteorology, I'm not really a civilian. I'm kind of been doing it a long time. But this is what I would love to sit back and just have somebody feed me this stuff. Because I have to feed it and curate it and shit stuff. Sorry, but I would love to just sit in my chair and just put like quad box up where I got ESPN over here. I got somebody feeding me live cameras and nature snacks. And then maybe the Weather Channel, and just feed it to me in the morning while I'm waking up, which takes a while. This is how I wake up. Okay, that's the above average temperature in the nation's midsection. So indicating perhaps a trough out here, jet stream trough, and a ridge here. And I do it all the time, but I want to hammer this in. Cooler air in the trough, warmer under here. That's that simple. It's more complex than that, but it's that simple, really. This is the rainfall, and that would indicate the same thing, wouldn't it? So there's a trough here, unsettled, and a ridge here. So looking at the surface forecast, we're kind of putting in a forecast for the jet stream. And once you know where the jet stream is, it's game on, right? Especially in the winter months. This is earthquakes. There was a little earthquake last night in the East Bay, in Berkeley. Had a few over there. These are earthquakes. This is USGS. These are earthquakes above a magnitude 5 worldwide in the last day. So, nice. So, like, that's a 6.0. That's a 5.5. Let's see if we can get to us. Not a ton, though. But 5.0 is a big number. Here we go. So, none of that. And then if we go, nothing big on our end of the world. Well, that's big. That's 6.0. Yeah, pardon me. 74 miles east of Ozernovsky, Russia. Depth, very deep. But that's a big quake, 6.0. So Ring of Fire doing what it does. These are quakes above 2.5. And on the Ring of Fire, this is in the last day. So again, my intent here is to acclimate us to the idea that the planet is... it's alive, right? Like we are, and it's moving. The plates, in this case, the plates are moving. And we had an earthquake this morning underneath the Berkeley Stadium, a shallow quake, 5.4 miles deep, and it was 2.5. Another earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. That would have been the Hayward Fault, the Berkeley one. The San Andreas Fault is Pinnacles, 2.5, and it's shallow as well. And then another earthquake down around San Diego. You can't see these readouts, but I can see them. Let's see if I can get that to pop in. Yeah, man. Here we go. 2.6 Brawley, and that was a shallow quake too. And let's see what's going on in Nevada. 3.3 in Tonopah. Ooh, and then up around Idaho. Let's see what we got there. 2.7. So these are, and then those are, and I can show you all, here, check these out. These are all of the microquakes. All right. So there's a lot. There's a lot. It's always moving, man. It's like the weather. Something's always happening. It's not static. While you sleep, it's moving. And then this is the swell forecast. Do with this what you will. I like to look at the Aleutians. Nothing big. Nothing. There's a lot going on out on the East Coast. This nor'easter right here. See here? That nor'easter. That's throwing up a lot. These guys get all fired up right now. That nor'easter is going to throw some swell to the New Jersey, and they get good surf in Montauk. And the winds will the winds be okay? The winds will be okay down here because they shift offshore. That'll be interesting, actually. It's just a big, and then it moves away quickly. So there's going to be a lot. You're going to see some video guys surfing big, look at 10 foot out there. Sunday, starting Sunday, East Coast. And then for us, a normal swell, and then that's big, but it sort of dissipates as we go into Wednesday. And then pretty good swell off Ocean Beach or off Point Arena area. So they're calling for, up to 12 foot of swell. Ooh, maybe 8 foot. Oh no, small one. I got it. 12 foot of swell, 10 seconds. 3.5 at 15. That's the swell you want right there. That's a really good one out of the 300. So it's kind of northwest. And see, that's the green one. You can't really see it. So that's good. That's something to look forward to. Here's Ocean Beach today. Winds are a little funky. But they're not bad. It's kind of west-north or north-northwest right now. It should shift pretty soon to the south. I have a doctor's appointment today, or I would go surf. I think I would. Models show the wind coming up later on this afternoon. That's Ocean Beach. This is Halama. Bill, why do you always show Halama? Because it's sort of it's Cape Mendocino and Point Conception. They call it, what do they call it? The articulation. The Point Conception was historically, if you read anything about history, sailing ships up and down the coast, Richard Henry Dana, the Point Conception is where everything changes. It's where the water temperature changes, it's where the wind directions change. So as a sailor, it was sort of a big thing. But I like it for that, obviously. But I also like it. Let me load it up again. I also like it because it's just out there. Like you see, it's not hard to see a whale or something out here. It's interesting how small the swell is right now. These are live pictures I'm showing you as of this morning. This is Topanga Point. I mentioned the chart house yesterday. Got a lot of responses on the chart house. Always wanted to work there. I was a waiter back when being a waiter was awesome. Back before the tip laws in the late 70s. Charlie Brown's Emeryville, first waiter in the Charlie Brown chain ever. They had just waitresses. If you know anything about Charlie Brown's and you ever went to the Charlie Brown's in Emeryville, you saw me because I was the only waiter, at least back in the late 70s, early 80s. And I made bank, dude. My best night, I bet you waited tables too, but my best night, I always think Chart House because they made awesome tips, but I was making, in 1979, 1980, I was making $200 a night under the table. No, I forgot to pick up $200 in 1979 under the table. I only worked 3 days a week. Had window sections, had awesome window sections, Golden Gate Bridge, blah, blah, blah. Knew the cooks, Daryl and Earl. Those guys would set me up with, to be a good waiter, you got to be tight with the cooks. Or in the bar too, but mainly the cooks, because they will make things happen for you. If they don't like you, you are done. Chime in on that because I know you got a story. I know everyone's got a, it's awesome. I haven't had them in a while. This is Alturas. What didn't you know about Alturas? Oh, okay, I got some facts. Incorporated, for only county in Modoc County that's incorporated. They have an awesome museum in Modoc. Modoc today is going to go 70 degrees. Or not Modoc County. This is Alturas. This is, yes, it is Victorville. What's up with Victorville? It was named for the railroad boss, Victor. I'm sorry, Victor. I screwed up the last name. In 1880, but then they changed it to Victorville because it was getting confused with the Victor in Colorado, that town. And they have, apparently, I did a Google search on these guys. They have an awesome museum, which everyone thinks they have an awesome museum. I'll be the judge if it's an awesome museum. And then this is interesting, BYU. I have a love affair with Utah. I grew up with Mormons in Paradise. And I played on the Mormon basketball team, too. I wasn't a Mormon, but I love Mormons. I know they're a handful sometimes, but aren't we all? But look how clean that place is. And they got a little snow up in the peaks. This is BYU campus where temperature today is going to go, it says 80 degrees. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful campus. And I've never had bad experiences with that, I hate to say those people. But Mormons are awesome. I mean, they're great neighbors. I have a bunch of neighbors that are Mormons. And I grew up with them. And I'm not religious at all. I mean, spiritual, but not religious. But they never messed with me. I never messed with them. This is Venice Beach. Venice Beach today is going to be 75 degrees. And it's just the the rush of humanity. So we talked about a lot of things. The waiting tables thing. My wife hates hearing this story. After a couple of beers, I get going, but I had so much fun waiting tables. I loved it. 'Cause probably you can tell, right? Because because I was waiting, I was in Berkeley going to school, by the way, paid for my own college, which I'm so proud of. My sister Laura helped out a little bit, like with when I didn't have food, but I waited tables and I was good at it and I liked it. Like I liked it. I actually had to make myself stop waiting tables because when I went to graduate school, I was like, I could have waited tables, but I took construction jobs instead for less money because I knew that if I stayed in restaurants, I'd never leave because it was so fun. I'm sure it would be horrible. Can you imagine waiting tables now at age whatever the heck I am? But I knew intuitively back when I was probably 25. I think I waited tables till I was 24, graduate school a little bit, 25, maybe 24, but it felt old. And I was like, I'm never leaving, man, because every night was a party, right? The bar would open, and I worked with all waitresses, and yeah, yada yada yada. It was awesome. So I made myself quit. I went to graduate school, got a degree in meteorology. Just that simple. So let that be a lesson to you, a little life story. Okay, chime in. Love hearing from you guys. I will talk to you tomorrow.